Hello, Sandra.
Okay, thank you. Hello. My niece is a CPA, and for 2 weeks in the summer, she goes to classes to learn more about the tax code so she can represent clients in front of the IRS. Utah has a 5% flat tax. Is there any way, or are you dealing with any legislators regarding tax reform? It is so complicated, and it needn't be.
I agree that the tax code is too complicated. You know, Sandra, it's interesting. 100 years ago, our entire federal tax code took up only a few hundred pages. It was about 450 pages long. Today, the federal tax code takes up between 75,000 and 80,000 pages. No one has ever read the whole thing. If they did, they'd probably die of some sort of shock. And because it's too long for any one person to read, no one understands it, which produces a lot of bad things for the American people. Not just uncertainty, but it also leads to an almost tyrannical kind of environment in which people at the IRS are allowed to exercise virtually unlimited discretion in deciding how to rule on all kinds of ambiguities that can result from a 75,000 page tax code. It was interesting, a while back I attended a hearing as part of the Joint Economic Committee in Congress on which I sit. We had a witness in front of us who holds a PhD, a doctoral degree in the U.S. tax code. I feel bad for that guy because that doesn't sound like a really fun field in which to pursue a doctoral degree. Nonetheless, it was his chosen profession. But out of curiosity, I asked him a simple question. I said, "Sir, do you do your own taxes?" And he said, "No." And I asked, "Why not?" And he said, "Because there's no way that I could be certain that I was getting all the answers right." I reminded him that he holds a PhD in the U.S. tax code. And he said, "Yes, that's right. It is nonetheless so complicated that even I, who hold a PhD in the U.S. tax code, can't do my own taxes." This is wrong. It's tyrannical. It's horrible. And so you're right. We need to move toward a simpler system. I've introduced a simpler system in developing a tax reform proposal with my friend and colleague Marco Rubio from Florida. In our system, we would move our current complicated 7-rate system to a 2-rate system, dramatically simplifying the code, eliminating the marriage tax penalty and the parent tax penalty, and making it more possible for more Americans to pursue the American dream. There are others who have introduced a 3-rate system. There are some who have advocated on behalf of a 1-rate system. I'll support just about anything that simplifies our tax code, including not only my proposal, but other proposals out there that have been developed by colleagues. So far, we have been unsuccessful in getting there because so far we've got too many members of Congress in both houses and both political parties who are wedded to the status quo, who like the status quo, in part because there are a lot of people who benefit from the status quo. This kind of complexity is itself a subsidy for the political class in Washington, for those who make a living off of the tax code, for those who make a living off of advising clients who are trying to deal with the enormous complexity within our tax code. So please join me in the effort to simplify our tax code and support members of Congress, support candidates for federal office who are willing to dramatically simplify the tax code. If you'd like to review my tax reform proposal, you can view it at lee.senate.gov.